So I started poking around the internet looking for backup socket 1155 boards because I have two computers that have those boards. There were some leads. For example, this ad has a motherboard and a graphic card for $40, but if it did work, it only has two DRAM slots and only one X16 graphics slot. So then I check out the free stuff, and it says computer case, and it just has a little note, motherboard, older motherboard with Xeon or something to that effect. So this kind of smells like something's wrong, but I tried it out. So another one of these going out on a really cold day here in Ottawa, Canada. I took a bag and put this over my shoulder and took it home, and this is what it looked like on my floor when I got back. So when I took off the lid, I was pretty amazed to see it was an Asus motherboard. It looked like some really quality stuff, and reading the writing was a Xeon chip. The person also gave me kind of like a heat sink for the CPU that didn't have a fan, but I just did some testing with it. So just spoilers, I can't say there's anything wrong with the motherboard or the CPU, but I didn't really test out that much. The motherboard itself is limited to PCI Express 2. It does have two USB 3 ports, and it does feature triple channel memory. So this is just random sampling of eBay prices for these items, the motherboard and the CPU. There's also 8 gigs of memory. So I went to add a few things to the case to do a test, the power supply and the graphic card, and it became obvious to me that the motherboard was only screwed down in a few places, and continuing to screw it down, it didn't seem to fit geometrically properly, and something is wrong with the cards going in. They didn't match the card slots, and so there's something weird about the geometry of this thing. So I just took everything out and experimented on the floor instead. And actually, it kind of concerned me. Like I thought the person probably broke something or shorted out doing this. This motherboard had a bunch of buttons on the side, which I guess are kind of like the front panel buttons, except it seemed like I had trouble starting it up using the start button. And when I put a screwdriver against the two pins on the board that would go to the button on the case, it seemed to be reliable. So I was originally concerned that there was some sort of reliability issue. It's just a load of LEDs on this motherboard to do weird things. I don't know what they're doing. Just gonna go into setup here. Okay, so let's see, what has it got for memory? Main, okay. Well, system information. Okay, so there's 8 gigs of memory, which is more than nothing, at least. That came from the original guy. It says that it's a X5680, which it says on the lid of the CPU. Okay, let's see where the CPU is at 123 Fahrenheit. This is like totally horrible thermal solution. And it's holding around 50. So I think that's not initially bad, but I mean, it's in theory not doing anything right now. So I'm a little bit worried about actually starting it up without some sort of protection. Let's just try turning it off. Okay, so just for fun, I moved the graphic card from here to here, and I'm going to see if this card slot works. No. Okay. Looks like we got another card slot working. That's good to see. So both of the X16 card slots are basically working. Well, I don't think this thing has EUFI BIOS, so one quick solution is another program I have that works off the CD-ROM. So let's start this thing up. Okay, so hopefully this will all just work. See what happens. It's supposed to have temperature protection by BIOS, so we're going to see if the memory is okay, and hopefully I'm not going to overload anything. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Doesn't have temperature? No. I'm guessing this is not going to have any problems, but we'll see. So I was using a heat sink that had no thermal compound and had just a crappy fan strapped on. So I was kind of flying blind and I was afraid. So I aborted that memory test and I started looking for things to control the temperature. But those controls here are for the chipset. And in this case, it cut out because at 70, it actually overheats doing just the BIOS, which is really weird. One problem is this heatsink here and that one. Maybe it wants like a fan that really blows down into there because these things get really hot. When I had it set to 70, this is like it's really hot here, and it was shutting down. And I don't know what it's doing. I mean, is it going to the BIOS and the thing's shutting down? I mean, that like what is it possibly doing? And that could even be a problem with this thing. So I don't know. So hopefully that hot chipset thing is normal, and I get a fan that blows in there. But why did I just put this back in here as sort of a extra part? So in the event that any of my computers does fail, I can easily put this in without having to transpose parts to be like the best, the better, the second best computer, etc. This will just replace whatever computer stops working. So thanks for watching.